Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Hakuoki Kyoto wins. And in Ichika's round, now we're just off to go fight in the thingy. Is this the Hamagori Rebellion thing? I don't know. There's so many different like battles and shit. I don't remember. Um, but yeah, yep. Anyway, I'm in like mid-ish, end of chapter 2-ish. So anyway, night had fallen by the time we arrived at Kujo Beach. After leaving the Fushimi magistrate's office, we made for the Aizu Manor. Upon arriving, we relayed our previous encounter and asked for new orders. The manor official we met with directed us to go to Kujo Beach, which we did. However, what? The Shinsengumi is to join us? We've received no such order. I apologize, but could you speak with the commander at the Nagakura seemed to tolerate no more of this. What the hell? He was the one who told us to come here, goddammit! You want to fuck us over, fine. But you're going to be disobeying a direct order from your superior, pal. You really want to do that? Please calm down. I don't know what you... The man flinched and shivered, then fell silent. Kondo did his best to assume a professional air, but there was no hiding his massive grin. I'd like to speak to your commanding officer. Do you think you might be able to take me to him? At last, after a great deal of trouble, we were allowed to remain with the troops at Kujo Beach. The chief and the captains left the rest of us to speak with the Aizu commanders. They returned sometime later looking tired and drained. Inoue, who'd gone with them, also wore a bitter sort of half-smile.
Well, it would seem that the men stationed here are reserves, and not the main force of their army. The main force has been committed to the defense of Hamaguri Gate.
They're treating the Shinsengumi like reserves? Then, why the hell did they send us a message acting like this was some sort of emergency? We can't predict what might happen. Battle may soon approach us. There's little to do but wait. So all we can do is wait? There was a chance that the call could come at night, so the men stayed awake, ready to act. And just let us know if you need to rest a bit, Spacey. You're always welcome to sleep on my lap. Oh no, I'm fine. Harada laughed as I shook my head. It's actually pretty funny, because in the anime he's like, I can loan you my thighs. Whoa. That sounds way more inappropriate than you can rest in my lap. It wouldn't be fair for me to be the one to sleep. The men had to remain alert, anticipating that they could face death at any moment. But we're alert. But then you're sleep deprived. You're gonna die. Take turns napping. Anxiety wrapped around me until I slept near dawn. The men, however, were vigilant through the night. Even as I drifted in and out of consciousness, I could see them nearby, persisting against the night. The break of dawn burned my eyes as I heard it. A cannon? The crack of a gunshot tore through the morning air, and in the distance I heard men shouting and the clang of metal. The fighting had begun. The captains looked at one another and nodded. It's time we left. I stared at him for a moment, perhaps not yet fully awake, until I understood what he was saying. Right! Hi! With a quick nod, I readied myself to go, then... Stop! What do you think you're doing? We were ordered to stay here. Did you just tell me to stop? Did you just tell me to stop? I can't. I can't. I can't. Even during our lengthy march the day before, I'd never seen Hijikata mad. Maybe, I don't know why I forgot. Maybe because of his position as commander, he was afraid to express himself when his temper flared up, but it looked as if he reached his limit. You've never seen him mad? I don't know. He seems mad all the time. Normally, he left the yelling to Nagakura and stayed patient when speaking with army officials. This time, however, he finally had enough. I thought your job here was to protect the imperial estate, but you'd rather sit on your fat ass. We're here to stop those Choshu assholes from attacking. Tell me, what are the Choshu doing? But we haven't received any orders. Hijikata was in no mood for excuses. If you've got any kind of pride in your job, then forget your goddamn orders and move. Without even waiting for a response, Hijikata spun around and stalked off, fuming. Where are we going? I didn't dare raise my voice above a whisper. But Saito, who was walking near me, I'm so sorry, I don't know why I'm yawning all the time. And to the enemy, which, in this case, means Hamagori Gate. Hamagori Gate? You mean where Aizu's main force is protecting, right? The battle at the gate is likely to be an intense one. You'd better prepare yourself. All right. I could have been preparing myself for months if I were training, but I haven't been, so I'm probably just going to cower in a corner and pee myself. Ichikata's fury seemed to rouse the Aizu's reserve, who up to this point seemed flustered by the threat of conflict, watching the Shinsengumi march. At the end, they followed the Shinsengumi to the Hamagori Gate. We don't want them to look. We don't want to look like cowards next to them. Before long, we'd arrived. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. What the fuck? Hold on. We learned from Hijikata, so we gotta act like a man. Oh my gosh! It's not a man thing to say, like, just like, eek and eek. Holy fuck! Holy fuck balls. That's a little better. The gate was pockmarked with scores of bullets, and everywhere dead and dying soldiers littered the ground. The acrid stink of firearms hung in the air. Even though I tried to prepare myself mentally for what lay before me, my heart shattered from the traces of war occurring ahead. The enemy, however, was nowhere to be seen. We'd arrived too late. The battle was already over. After a moment of stunned silence, several of our men were dispatched by Hijikata to determine what happened, and then Kondo sighed. What are the Choshu thinking? They've raided the imperial estate.
I find it difficult to know what they're doing. How do they claim to be an imperialist domain?
Kondo simply nodded. The Choshu defined themselves as among those who revered the emperor, yet they attacked his home? It didn't make any sense to me either. Nevertheless, the damage was done. I was in the middle of pondering their reasons when Saito returned to me. It appears the Choshu attacked Hamaguri in the early morning, but were repelled by the combined forces of Aizu and Satsuma. The forces standing against them were too much for the Choshu, who were forced to retreat, and then Choshu and Satsuma joined forces. Jesus! Flip-flopping. No wonder I'm confused. The corner of Hijikata's mouth curled into a grin. So, Satsuma's helping Aizu now, are they? Their times sure are changing. Considering their less than friendly past... Oh, whoops, I was reading that as if... it was not somebody speaking. Anyway, considering their less than friendly past, it would seem the Choshu became their common foe. The Satsuma and Aizu domains hadn't been on the best of terms. I thought that they outsmarted the family domain and allied with the imperial court to expel foreigners. However, I recall my father telling me that they were not much different than the Choshu. Unlike the Choshu, however, they'd gone to war with foreign force and suffered a devastating loss with a foreign force. Following their defeat, I learned the Satsuma began to reconsider their nationalistic stance. However, these were only rumors, and what had come to pass had yet to be fully determined. I was like, wait, what? Hijikata! Supposedly, there's still some of those Choshu bastards fighting over at the Kuge Gate. Hijikata's expression changed as he considered Harada's words, but before he could open his mouth to speak, Yamazaki appeared, like a fucking ninja. Commander, we believe the men who led this raid are headed off from Mount Tenno. Mount Tenno is located between Kyoto and Osaka. Supposedly, they're in the middle of escaping from Fushimi toward Osaka. After hearing the report from both Harada and Yamazaki, Hijikata contemplated deeply. Although Kondo was recognized as the formal head of the Shinsengumi, I learned from everyone that all major decisions were deferred to Hijikata because he's smart. Kondo's just the mascot. Like, we love him, don't get me wrong, but again, he's got the charisma, doesn't exactly have the logic here. He has a balance, you know what I mean? I'm not saying he's like an idiot, but I'm just saying, like, he's like the lovable, goofy dad, and like, you know, Hijikata's like the like fucking mom. Like, you go fucking clean your room before you do your homework, okay? Just Jesus fuck Christ. Clean your room, do your homework, then you can play. Kondo's like, here, have a candy bar for dinner. What? Want my kids to like me. This was no exception, and I could see that all eyes were on him. He was silent for a few moments, and then I saw his mouth curve in a smile. Looks like our work's cut out for us, boys. Harada, take your men to Kuge Gate to deal with those Choshu bastards. Sure thing, boss. Saito, Yamazaki, I want you to figure out what the situation is here. Hold Hamaguri Gate. As you wish. Got it. I thought the voices all sound the same when I do them right in a row. Like, your job's a tough one, Chief. I know this is a bitch, but I want you to speak with the Aizu bigwigs about a punitive expedition. So, punitive expedition for the Choshu. Right. Some of those bastards are headed for Tenno, but others will run around and cause trouble. If we're gonna go after them, then we'll need to leave Kyoto, and only you can get us those papers. They have to have papers to leave? The Shinsengumi were entrusted with the protection of Kyoto, and if this war was for aiding the Aizu, then they had to do more than just guard the gate. Leaving our post, however, to chase after the Choshu troops meant that we needed permission from the military commissioner, meaning the Aizu. So did they get permission to go to Ito and Osaka the few times that they've gone, right? Because, like, maybe Heisuke hasn't gone to Ito yet, but he does. He does. Oh, no, because they haven't brought in Ito yet. So, but he's going to go. Like, San and Hijikata had gone to Osaka. That's where Sana got injured. So, like, do we just get permission then? Or it was totally cool that we just left? Like, were we on vacation? The fuck? I don't know. I see. If it's the chief of the Shinsengumi, the commissioner's office will listen to what we want. After what we'd gone through the day before, I didn't imagine Kondo's task would be an easy one. Still, if the representative was anyone other than Kondo, the Aizu would be unlikely to grant the request, let alone entertain the notion of a meeting. Yen, I want you to go with him. Somebody has to keep an eye on our chief, all right?
Of course, I'll do my best, Commander.
Another laugh ran through the soldiers, and Kondo's mouth twisted into a wry sort of grin. Perhaps he chose not to deny it, because he knew he might go a little crazy. The rest of you are coming with me to Tenno. As for you... He looked directly at me. I wasn't a warrior, nor did I have political ties. Hijikata didn't know what to do with me. Suddenly I felt very much like dead weight. You can't go with Kondo, but other than that, it's up to you. All right? Kondo was meeting with the leaders of the Aizu. If I joined him, there would be nothing for me. I had many options for what I could do. Hijikata would be pursuing the leaders of the Choshu attack toward Tenno Mountain. Saito would be staying at Hamagori Gate to protect it and gather information. Harada and his men would be going to Kuge Gate to stop the attack on the Imperial Estate. The question was, where would I go? I like how it tells you that, like, who do you want to go with? Do you want to be with Saito? Do you want to be with Harada? Do you want to be with Hijikata? We're going to Mount Tenno because that's Hijikata, so. There was no question I would go with Hijikata and chase after Ronin headed for Mount Tenno. There was no question I would go with Hijikata. I've chosen to walk with him. Just reciting the end. Sorry. Despite Fushimi being quite a distance away, soldiers moved at a rapid pace. It was hard for me to keep up, and I was beginning to run short of breath when I saw someone. He was standing in front of us, shadows obscuring his face and clothes, cloaked in a strange aura, which we just saw this scene in his part, but Hijikata seemed to sense it too, and he motioned for the men to halt. The Shinsengumi stopped, save for one man, who was either too excited or too foolish to heed the commander. Or he didn't see it. He's like, what? Oh, gah! I saw a momentary flash of steel as the man yelped. Hey, the hell is this? You alright? No, he's dead, dude. The man just laid there unresponsive. I could see thick red blood already beginning to pool around him. Taken aback at first by the sudden attack, the men all turned now to glare at the stranger. Ah, judging by those jackets, you're Shinsengumi. Acting like you're the 47 Ronin, huh? Boorish as always. They were already on edge, but the man's words only made the men more agitated. I'd heard from the men that they had their reasons for wearing their uniforms. They wanted desperately to pay the strange man back for his taunts and for attacking their brother, but they knew now was no time for revenge. First, you got in my way, Takeda, and now you're all trying to play the good guy around here. So, the peasants haven't had their fill of defeat yet? Excuse me, you aren't even samurai, are you? I'd turn back if I were you, unless you like the thought of coughing up blood like your friend over here. As he spoke, I felt the air begin to thicken with the rage of the Shinsengumi. I know I'm not doing his voice right. I don't even know what that's wrong. I just can't. I'm done. Like, you're the swordsman from Ikeda that beat Soji. I heard you were quite a swordsman, but those are pretty big words from such a little man. You're about the same size, is all I'm saying. Hijikata's smile was anything but warm. He's like, I'm gonna kill you. I'd heard you were talented for peasants, but this sorry display tells me it was all for show. He laughed at the sight of the man he'd just slain. That man from the inn, Okita, was it? Far too weak to be considered a real swordsman. Hijikata's teeth were now almost completely bared. I knew Okita wasn't weak at all, and I wanted to tell him so, but it was true that he had been injured.
Insult Soji all you want, but how about you tell us why you killed this man first?
Insult. You can insult Okita all you want, he's kind of a dick, but still. I heard the soft hiss of Nagakora's sword sliding from its scabbard. At his feet lay the man who'd been attacked, his face now an odd pale color. I wept for his spirit.
If I don't like what I hear, then I'm gonna kill you right here.
To defend your warrior's pride? The Shogun says jump and you say how high? Why are you pursuing men who've lost and fled the battlefield? Don't you know they're already fled from Mount Tenno to take their own lives? What? Was he telling the truth? Did the Choshu men commit honorable suicide? I looked over at Hijikata and the rest of his men, but not one of them looked surprised. The man in front of us was trying to stop the Shinsengumi in an attempt to protect the pride of the Choshu samurai, which was what had upset him. From his point of view, I could see why he felt right in what he was doing, but they gave him no right to kill someone just to prove a point. Is it really all right to take a man's life for the sake of someone else's pride? Only you can protect your own pride. Letting others control the value of something important to you will only hurt you later on. How can someone keep their pride? How can someone else keep their pride? They expect someone else to, if they expect someone else to fight for it. Your sentiment has some truth to it. Are you saying I should simply allow the Shinsengumi to pilfer any pride the Choshu have left, just to gain merit for arresting them? He didn't sound amused. No, that's not really what I meant, but under that crimson glare, my voice trailed off.
Pathetic. Thought you were trying to make some kind of a point, stranger. But you're just whining like a petulant child. This is war, you idiot!
What? The man spoke through clenched teeth, and the knuckles of his sword hand turned white. Not a child! Not being a petulant child!
I started a pointless fight, didn't have the balls to see it through, and then ran away with tails tucked. Those cowards don't deserve honor. They're all spineless traitors. You think a man like that deserves an honorable death? They'll die with the goddamn guts and heads in the dirt.
You mean to say they should have been prepared to die for their cause when they went to war?
Any man who starts a fight he isn't willing to die for doesn't know what it means to be a warrior. Let's say they do have some scrap of pride left. When dying in battle be better than dying on your own sword.
Hijikata's own concept of pride and honor was not something he could easily compromise. No matter how long he and the stranger spoke, I also knew that they would never see eye to eye. Hijikata drew his sword from its scabbard, and I saw Nagakora drop into a fighting stance. Hijikata's eyes narrowed, and after muttering something angry under his breath, Nagakora stepped back and put his blade back in its sheath.
You don't look like a coward to me, so I figure you're ready to finish what you started when you killed one of my men.
Big words from a small man. They just called each other small men. Do you honestly believe you can defeat me? In an instant, their swords met, and the clang of metal reverberated through the mid-afternoon air. They sprang apart, eyes fixed on one another, and I saw Hijikata's hand tighten on his sword. The commander's swordsmanship seemed without a true rival, but this man had defeated Okita. I saw Nagakora reach for his own sword. He was to leap into the fight as well, probably hoping to help Hijikata gain the upper hand. When I saw him about to pounce, I couldn't help but scream. Hold on. Stop. No, we're supposed to stop him. No, Nagakora, you can't. This fight wasn't why the Shinsengumi came here. Hijikata's troops' mission was to follow the Choshu rebels to Mount Tenno. There could be no doubt that the strange swordsman was an enemy, and a dangerous one. We might have needed our whole force to defeat him. Hijikata, however, would never let us abandon our mission out of fear of losing, especially after his speech. Nagakora could see this mysterious man was quite powerful, and after a few moments spent grinding his teeth, he took his hand off his sword.
Hey, Hijikata, I'm gonna take your guys for a bit if that's alright with you. Big mouth over here. They're yours, Senpachi.
The commander's eyes followed the swordsman, and his mouth curled into a predatory grin.
Listen up, guys. We're gonna run straight for Mount No. No stopping.
The soldiers roared their assent.
Damn you. Pay attention. I'll put a sword through your back as easily as your front.
Hijikata was in a fighting stance and put himself between the troops and the man to avoid escape.
Don't get in my way.
He swung his sword and Hijikata received it and was thrown back.
Damn, that was an intense swing.
Since there was a distance between Hijikata and himself, the man turned towards Nagakura. Keep running. Oh. Okay, keep running. I desperately wanted to stop, but I forced my feet to keep going and made a break for it. Oh, he's like so proud of us.
Yeah, that's good. Keep on running.
In an instant, Hijikata closed his distance between himself and the man, positioning his sword.
You don't even know your limit, Shogunate bitch. Unfortunately for you, the difference in power on the battlefield can be overcome with spirit.
How beautiful. I will overcome you with my spirit. I couldn't quite keep up, so I lagged for a moment. We'll be waiting for you at Mount Tenno. I couldn't leave him without saying something, so I yelled as loudly as I could out of support. Please, come back to us. His eyes narrowed sharply and he chuckled.
Who the hell do you think I am?
Hot as fuck? Oh, that's what, I think. His voice was calm, confident, and cocksure.
Who the hell do you think I am?
My future husband? The Shinsegumi's commander! I nodded at him and jogged past, falling into step with Nagakura and the rest of the men. We ran straight for Mount Tenno and didn't look back. I ran past him. So where were you, a foot away? You should have been... I'm getting confused. Like, okay. So they're standing here. We were all behind, right? We were here. And then we're running. Keep running. We're running. But I ran past him. You should already be way the fuck down here! What are you doing? Like, running in circles? We're running in circles! Like, before you take off? Like... I nodded to him and jogged past, falling into step with Nagakura and the rest of the men. We ran straight for Mount Tenno and didn't look back. It's almost nighttime. I was waiting at the base of Mount Tenno. Nagakura led some men further up looking for the Choshu rebels, but a few were left at the bottom in case any other Choshu forces returned. I'd stayed with them.
It'll be alright. They'll be back soon. I'm sure of it.
I know, but... Is Hijikata safe? He must be. No sooner were the words out of my mouth than a shadow appeared in the dirt road in front of me. The shadow stepped towards us and into the light. Oh, there he is. I was like, wait, he's not showing up. Anyway, Hijikata! I felt tears spring into my eyes and shoved them away with the back of my hand. He's like, oh, for God's sake, don't cry over me yet.
Glad to see you're safe, Commander. Doesn't even look like you've been injured. Good work.
Shimada was right. Hijikata was without a scratch, but even so, his expression was dark.
I'd hoped we'd have a real fight. We barely started when the Satsuma stuck their noses in. What were the Satsuma doing there? Well, his name's Chikage Kazama. Seems he's part of the Satsuma.
But if he's part of the Satsuma domain, didn't they help the Aizu drive off the Choshu? Why did Kazama try to stop the Shinsengumi? I frowned. Something wasn't right. Does that mean he disobeyed orders? Kazama, I mean.
Probably. The men who broke up our fight seemed confused by whatever the hell he was up to.
Yeah, right? The other demons?
In any case, they probably know they can't push him around. They stand no chance against him. I see. This Kazama character must have some clout, even among the Satsuma.
Maybe it's because he's powerful enough to hold off men like Okita and Hijikata, but there's something else to him that perplexes me. When Hijikata spoke next, his voice was bitter.
He's a lazy son of a bitch with enough money or influence to do whatever the hell he feels like. Bastard like him has no right to teach me what pride is all about.
Before Hijikata could continue, we heard the sound of men approaching, and Nagakura appeared with the bulk of our detachment trailing behind him. Nagakura stopped for a split second when he saw Hijikata, and then he creeped into a sly grin.
Well, we went up to the top to have a look. Sadly, every last one of those bastards already cut themselves wide open.
My heart fell as he explained. I wasn't sad that they'd killed themselves, or that the Shinsengumi hadn't been able to arrest them, only that more lives had been lost. Well, they would have died anyway, because they would have beheaded them or something, right? Like, come on.
Honorable suicide, eh? Good for them.
As he spoke, he flashed a half-smile at Nagakura. But why? Only a few hours before, he'd said that they were criminals and only deserved to be beheaded, but now he applauded them for taking their own lives? My question came out instinctively, as if my heart spoke for me rather than my head. He shrugged.
Seems like you don't get it. As Shinsengumi, this doesn't look good on us. They succeeded in their mission, which means we failed. They're dead. What good would it do me to ignore what they did? Friend or enemy, a man who dies with honor deserves at least some respect.
Oh, I suppose that makes some sense. It was obvious I didn't quite understand what he was trying to say. His expression softened a little.
If you stay with us just a little longer, you may eventually get it.
Together, once again, we returned to the Imperial Estate to meet up with the rest of the Shinsengumi. On the way back, Hijikata and the men began to discuss their next move. It looked like there was still plenty for the Shinsengumi to do in Kyoto. The Choshu extremists' attempted attack on the Imperial Estate eventually came to be known as the Hamagori Rebellion. Although the Shinsengumi were called into action, their efforts were stymied, and they found little in the way of glory. Communication with their superior was poor at best, and they spent much of the battle waiting with the reserves. When the Shinsengumi finally entered the battle, each man found several strange opponents awaiting him. Chikage Kazama, who defeated Okita at Ikeda, claimed to be from the Satsuma domain during his encounter with Hijikata. Kyuju Hamagiri, the man who shattered Heisuke's headguard at Ikeda, also claimed membership in the Satsuma. They'd also met Kyo Shiranui. I don't know why I'm like... Anyway, who fought alongside men from Choshu, because we say Shiranui so many times, but Kyo. It was like, because I said Kyo, and I was like, wait, yeah, that's right. Anyway. Whoever they were, it was clear they're not allies of the Shinsengumi. Indeed, it seemed they could easily become some of its greatest enemies. If they were to meet in open battle, the casualties would be severe. By the time the battle was over, the commanders of the Choshu attack had been killed in the fighting, or took their own lives. There were some soldiers, however, who escaped, setting Kyoto ablaze as they fled. By some terrible misfortune, winds that day blew from the north and fanned the flames, the Kyoto winds, reducing the southern end of the Imperial Estate to ash. As a result of the Choshu attack, many Imperial nationalists were executed. With the Hamagori Rebellion over, the Choshu were branded as traitors for attacking the estate, which is really funny if you think about it, right? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, now they're the Imperial Army! That has got to be, like, wait, that doesn't make sense. Like, from then on, they were acknowledged enemies of the court. Although, it's weird because Kazama made it sound like, I gave them the flags. Well, everybody thinks they are, but they're really not. Like it was a big-ass con. You're like, wait, what? September 1864. It's funny because this takes place over 4 years, but the first, like, 2 to 3 chapters are almost all the same year, and then all of a sudden it's like, 1866! And you're like, the fuck? Nothing happened in 2 years? September 1864. The closeness in time between the battles of the Ikeda Inn and the Imperial Palace created significant civil unrest within Kyoto. The Shinsengumi redoubled their efforts to keep people safe, but the more they worked, the more the shogun put them to work. His approval of their activities meant more official business, and it stretched them thin. Even with recruits from Kyoto and Osaka, it wasn't enough. After many discussions, the Shinsengumi chose to recruit even more men from Edo, and Heisuke was tasked with preliminary scouting in the city. Okay, this is when he leaves, so... Okay, so this is probably because they would have gotten approval for it, like, you know, because we're going to need more men, so you're going to have to give us approval to go to Edo. But maybe he's not technically going there officially because he's not chasing anyone. I don't know. Anyway. The hardened sun kissed our burning cheeks as Kondo and I saw Heisuke off, his grin wide and his bags packed from the night before. Well, I'll be on my way now. Make sure no one causes trouble while I'm gone. Okay, I promise to help as much as I can. Find us a good crop of men, Heisuke. I'll join you there next month. The plan was for Heisuke to hit Ito early and scope out potential men, and have Kondo follow behind a month after to make the final say with recruits. Isn't there someone you mentioned wanting to see? I remember you saying something like that.
Oh, we never told you, Yukimura? I believe his name's Ito. He fights using the
Hokushin.
Ito style. And word is, he's well versed in strategy.
Ito style.
Truth be told, I don't really know him well, but I'm pretty sure he'll at least hear me out. And that's more than enough. He's an imperialist, but if we approach him right, and with respect, he'll see fit to help us. I know he will.
Kondo nodded confidently, but Heisuke looked like he wasn't quite as sure.
Anyway, I'm off. I'll do my best to find information on Kyoto too while I'm there, so just wait until I get back.
Okay, be careful. I watched him go, and the smaller his back became, the lonelier I felt. When I couldn't see him anymore, my heart twinged. I glanced up at Kondo. You look happy. You're thinking about all the new warriors you're getting, right?
Yeah, seeing our numbers increase is a wonderful thing. If they're strong and able, even better.
Or if they're all like me, useless. Yeah. He puffed out his chest and grinned. His relief at recruiting new members reflected just how worried he must have been. I hadn't realized how much we were struggling. This piece of dust just flew in my, literally wafted him. It's probably a bird feather. Kondo kept his men close to his heart, and now he could smile. Time passed quickly after Heisuke left, and a month soon went by. The day for Kondo to leave for Ito was upon us, and I saw him off the next morning. Maybe it's a gnat, Jesus. Oh my god. I came across Kondo in the yard, mirrored in his thoughts. Hello, Kondo.
Oh, it's you, Yukimura. Something the matter?
Oh, no, nothing like that. I was just thinking about how you'll be on your way to Ito tomorrow.
True enough. Can't leave Heisuke hanging for too long, right?
It'll be a little lonely around here once you've left headquarters, too.
Don't worry. I'll only be gone a month. Toshi'll take care of everything while I'm away.
He didn't know his kind generosity and Heisuke's bright personality kept me going day after day here. They were the highlights of my restrictive life. With both of them gone, Kondo hadn't even left yet, and I was already feeling an uncontrollable loneliness sweep over me. Hello? You have Inoue? Everybody's grandpa. It's probably 35. Legit, he's probably 40 max, that's all I'm saying. It must have shown on my face because he suddenly looked troubled.
Oh, yeah. Is there anything you want me to bring you back from Ito? A memento from your hometown, perhaps?
Oh, no, I'm fine. You don't have to worry about me.
You sure? Is there anything else I can do for you? Anything that's in my power to grant, I will.
Oh, could you go to my house and get me all this shit? I'm gonna give you a list and where it is. He was always so accommodating to me already. I didn't have any complaints. But there was something I desired for a while, but never had the nerve to ask before. Before you leave for Ito, could you train me?
Wait, are you talking about learning swordplay?
Yeah, once. I've been here for almost a year. Train me once, and I'm never going to use the knowledge. Even though I've already should technically be able to. Maybe, again, not as good as them, but I'm just saying. Yeah.
Oh, no. That's a bad idea. I'm really aggressive when I teach. If somehow I hurt you, I wouldn't be able to face your father.
Oh.
But I have to say, I came out of nowhere. Do you have a reason?
His eyebrows furrowed in concern. I stepped in line. I want to watch over everyone while you're gone. If I'm going to help watch over the compound while you're gone, I want to be capable.
Huh, but you are one of the warriors, so I doubt you'd have to raise your sword.
You're right, but still, I want to be strong enough to be able to protect myself. At least the bare minimum if something were to happen. Having witnessed many battles with the Shinsengumi, it was pretty clear how far behind in skill I was. I would fall quickly if I dealt with similar battles. I knew I'd never be as strong as them, but war could still reach my doorstep someday as well. I wanted to lessen the burden for my protectors. I tried my best to explain how I felt to Kondo, and eventually he gave me a firm nod.
Understood. If you're that serious, I'd love to teach you what I can.
We found a cord to tie up my sleeves and set about training me. Normally, Shinsengumi training revolved around real-life sparring with wooden swords. Kondo decided to go easy on me with a bamboo stick.
Let's get started. I have to warn you, though. Tenon Rishin's style is a little rough.
Right, I'm ready.
Okay, let's begin with checking your stance. You said you were trained before, correct?
Yes, it was mostly for self-defense, but I did receive instruction in fighting with the Kodachi.
Good. That means you don't have to learn a new form. Get into the stance you've been taught.
Okay. Bamboo stick in hand, I moved into the familiar stance that I'd memorized during my training.
Too weak.
Like a whip, his harsh words stung as he barked.
If someone moves to attack you from the front, the first thing they'll reach for is your sword.
Oh, the first thing they'll reach is your sword and your sword arm. Sorry.
I'll knock your sword away if your grip is too weak. You must keep an eye out for that.
Okay. He hit me with the full brunt of his stringent teaching. I could see he was taking this seriously. He wasn't going easy on me because I was a girl.
Now you're holding on too tight. Given your slight build, you should do your best to avoid a strike from the front. To do that, you'll have to dodge or redirect the impact. But if you're grasping your sword tightly...
With Kondo's instruction, I practiced swinging the sword over and over, doing my best to learn and retain everything he was teaching me.
Huh, it's getting late.
His words brought my head up and I blinked. The sun set without me realizing, pooling below, and the sky was now shades of red and purple. Suddenly, in the real world again, fatigue slammed into me and I collapsed to my knees. Thank you for doing this. For me. Every limb was shaking, my clothes completely drenched in sweat. I sucked in air like I couldn't get enough of it. Kondo glanced over at me when I fell to the ground, and his strict teaching expression immediately switched to one of deep concern.
Oh, I'm sorry, Yukimura. What was I doing? I got so into it that I started pushing you way too hard.
I'm fine. The fact that you forgot and ended up teaching me that way, even though I'm not your student. Thank you. It made me really happy.
I see. That's how you truly feel. And I'm glad there's a bright side to this at least.
His face was a mixture of relief and guilt.
I am very sorry. I haven't trained anyone like this since the old days, so I kind of fell back into it.
You mean before you came to Kyoto?
Right. Toshi, Soji, and Gen learned Tenon Rishin with me back at the
Shiei Hall. Whatever.
Sana and Toto, Nagakura, and Arata joined us a little later. Oh, Saito would come by sometimes too. We don't have the free time much anymore, but we used to test our skills against each other in bouts nearly every day.
If I remembered correctly, my voice... I lost his voice, I know. If I remembered correctly, talk of the old days came up one night, when everyone was well into their sake. Kondo's family were farmers, but it was discovered that he had remarkable skill at sword fighting. The owners of Shei Hall decided to adopt him so he could continue training, and that's where he met Hijikata, along with everyone else. It must have been rough doing all that training.
Yeah, it was quite harsh, but strangely fulfilling, in a different way than our work now.
He gazed off into the distance, clearly reminiscing, and I felt a tiny pang of envy. If I had been born and raised near Mibu, would I have met all of them under different, better circumstances? Kondo turned to look down at me kindly, a gentle smile on his face.
Earlier you said you weren't my student, but...
Huh?
Since I, 4th generation master of Tenon Rishin, spent the day training you, that more or less means you're now a discipline of the style as well. That would make you a student like Toshi, Soji, and Gen.
Thank you! It was obviously not official, and it was barely a day's worth of instruction, but I was happy. I couldn't stop smiling. My heart felt so light. Kondo, I'm so grateful. Thank you for today. Even though I'm never going to use it, I'm going to be a weakling. But thanks. My mind and heart were still reflecting on the wonderful thing that just happened. I returned to my room with my head held high. I've been staying there for a while now, but sometimes I still felt like I was baggage to them. They needed me for one thing, and one thing only. I was never really a part of them, nor did I belong. But now, Kondo's words filled in some of the holes in my heart. Just a little, but I treasured the feeling. Smiling, I collapsed onto my futon. The strain and fatigue from earlier was a good feeling, and I let it drag me under to sleep. Chapter 3. February 1865. Several months later. I mean, seriously, because this is now February of 1865, and wasn't it like August or September when fucking Heisuke left? So, he's still not back. He's been gone for like 6 fucking months. Kondo probably left in September.
Yeah, he's been gone for like 6 or 7 months. I mean, Jesus. The dawn of the new year arrived, if it was August or September, right? Be like, yeah. Anyway, the dawn of the new year arrived. It was February of 1865, and we finished eating breakfast. I was carrying a plate full of tea and opened the door to the common room. Tea's ready.
Oh, thank you, Yukamura.
I made my way around the room, pouring a cup of tea for each person there, making sure not to spill. He gave me a warm smile as I handed him his tea.
There's nothing quite so delicious as hot tea on a cold day.
Thank you. I felt a flush of pride at his words, even though I knew quite well that serving tea was hardly impressive. Just the same, I felt as if I was helping out in a way, and that was a nice feeling. Then Hijikata spoke, and his words brought me back to the present. The Yagi have been good to us so far, but this place is getting crowded. True, it's getting a little small, especially with all the new guys coming in. If we can move to a bigger place, that'd be great. Some of the guys in the dorm look stifled. Yeah, the guys over at Makewa residence are practically smush sushi, the way they sleep. To be a young grunt these days. I pity them. If only there was something we could do. Easy for us to say, but imagine trying to find who else is willing to let us stay at their place. I mean, we are Kyoto's most hated. A person sitting beside Kondo pointed at the map spread upon the table. What if this? Nishi Temple, This is gonna be fun, because I get to do Hito's Cher voice. Obviously not Cher, but, like, he looks like Cher. But I get to do his, like, fabulous voice now, because I never get to do it. Because we always skip through his scenes. The Nishi Temple? I can't see any reason for them to accept us. I'm having way too much fun with this. Dramatic Takeda. Super fabulous Ito. It makes Ito a little more fun, and then you feel bad that we have to stab him. But there are no other locations big enough to accommodate a living space for a few hundred men. And besides, the tactile advantage of this temple would allow us to fortify in times of panic. This man was named Kashitaro Ito, recruited by Heisuke a few months ago as the Shinsengumi's military advisor and deputy commander. Okay, so we're assuming that Heisuke returned a few months ago. He's probably only went to Ito for a couple of months. But it's like, they just never had him coming back. Is he here? I don't know. He developed his notoriety teaching Hokushin Ito in his dojo, and he's known for his scholarliness. Additionally, it's well known that the Nishi used to shelter the Choshu Ronin. If we moved to the Nishi Hongwanji Temple, it would be an advantageous hiding spot from the Ronin. Oh, I see. Very good points. Can't believe you put this much detail into it. Kondo seemed very impressed by Ito's suggestion, but a silent voice of protest arose. Okay, yeah, that's right. You don't think it's somewhat uncouth to use force against men of the cloth? Ito's brow twitched as if disturbed by the idea, and he faced Sanan directly. Would you say that to the Choshu Ronin who inhabited the temple and did as they pleased? But my, aren't you nice, Sanan? You're even considering the feelings of outlaw Ronin who actively disrupt the peace of Kyoto! Ito's deflection of Sanan's words left a bitter taste in everyone's mouth, including Sanan. I agree that this extremist imperial nationalist party must be dealt with, but this seems... So? What are you saying? When we meet in battle, do you expect them to respect the Shinsengumian name alone, and to engage in a fight fair and square? Wouldn't it be just peachy if all those Choshu Ronin were on their best behavior? Like a Kamakura warrior? Saburo, watch your mouth now, darling. It's because he throws around words like darling. Oh, darling. Could you imagine him having like, watch your mouth now, darling? Like, no, come on. My mistake. Couldn't help myself. The other man beside Ito was Saburo Miki, who joined at the same time as Ito. Allegedly, he was Ito's younger brother by blood. He doesn't look anything like him. My apologies, everyone. This young one here has a tendency to let his mouth run free, you see. Yeah, your younger brother, is he like your secret lover? I don't think he's your brother. He's, or by blood, like half brother? Like, your dad or your mom, one of them's out hoeing, because, like, probably your dad. Because he don't look anything like you, sweet cheeks. Eye, hair, nothing. Face, nothing. So, Sanin, don't take it too personally. I'm sure we need a person like you to make the Shinsengumi succeed. Even if your left arm is useless, your indubitable wit and book smart shall prove useful, I'm sure. I watched as Sanin bit his lip, an act of restraint to Ito's sour words. The tension was cut by another voice. Perhaps I didn't hear you correctly, Ito. Ichikata's voice was cold and sharp, like the sound of a blade sliding across a whetstone. Ito seemed taken aback, and his eyes grew wide. Sanin's smart, like you said. But above all, he's a swordsman of the Shinsengumi. He's not useless, and he's not replaceable. Get it through your head. Ichikata only spoke when necessary, so it must have been something he truly believed. However, but my arm is... He couldn't even seem to bring himself to finish. It seemed as though Hichikata realized his words were reminding Sanin of what he used to be, causing Sanin to curl his lips into a frown. And this is why Sanin takes the potion! Oh dear, I didn't mean to cause such a fuss. Next time I'll keep my thoughts to myself. No, you won't. Sanin is quite the beloved member here, isn't he? It's nice to see such a tight-knit group. It's just that, as I'm sure you've thought about it, I hope the new members share that sentiment. Hichikata's eyes seethed with anger towards Ito. Kondo tried to relieve the tension by stepping in and clearing the air. Well, for now, let's keep business strictly in terms of finding a new headquarters location. Ito, would you mind coming with me? I'd love to continue our earlier discussion about a new base. Sure, I'd love to. Seeing the two get up, Takeda followed right behind them. Chief Kondo, may I join as well? Oh, of course. I want you to hear what Ito has to offer and broaden your views. Even the captains of the Shinsengumi must push themselves to learn more than fighting. It's our responsibility to grow and gain knowledge, to expand our horizons. Yes, sir. Kondo left the common room with Ito and Miki, however... left the common room with Ito, and Miki, however, who still sat before us. He smirked coldly towards us, and he slinked off to leave the common room. Like, he's being such a dick, like, you're with him, and he's like, peasants. You work here! Okita spoke once Miki's footsteps weren't audible. Ugh, who brought those bastards into the Shinsengumi? Culbert's still in Ito. Damn it, Heisuke. When he gets back, I'm gonna give him a few punches. So see, he's been gone for like 6 fucking months, Jesus. Ito is with the Imperial Nationalist Party, It's surprising to see people with the same beliefs as those Choshu bastards joining the Shinsengumi. Well, nationalists think themselves to be above the Choshu for whatever it's worth. I mean, the Imperial Nationalist Party is... Well, just listen to the bullshit he was going on about the other day. Seems as though he has rubbed off on Kondo as well, which is a poor influence in my opinion. Well, Kondo is a kind person. He is essentially deceived by silver tongues. Those appear virtuous, but are real scumbags. So, Ito is our deputy commander, and his little brother is the captain of the 9th Division, huh? That's gonna be a real bitch. Who was the captain of the 9th Division before? Because there had to have been one. Eventually, Hijikata approached Sanin, who weakly hung his head, facing the floor in shame. Poor baby. Somebody just needs to rub his arm. It's okay, sweet cheeks. We still love you. Oh, Sanin, we still love you. Do you need a hug? Somebody just hug him. He needs a fucking hug. See, this is the problem. This is the problem with the, like, they're like, we can't touch anybody. You couldn't even put your hand on his arm. Don't touch him. That'd be inappropriate. Somebody fucking hug the man. Just hug him, alright? He'd feel better. He'd at least feel so awkward that he'd forget about his arm issues, right? He'd be like, this is weird. Anyway, Sanin, don't listen to that asshole, okay? Sanin laughed dryly and shook his head. He's well-educated and skilled orator. And not only that, he's good with the sword. With such a gifted deputy commander, I suppose the Shinsengumi has little need for a colonel. Hey, Sanin! Sanin left the room as Hijikata's voice trailed behind, echoing in the hall. Man, I feel bad for him. Even the men are avoiding him these days. What? But why? Well, can't blame him. No matter what you say to him, he takes it the wrong way. And no matter what you say, he acts like such a smug smartass, so the warriors are intimidated and want nothing to do with him.
Oh no, poor Sonnet. I know, right? Poor Sonnet. What you doing, booger? Just having a staring contest with my bird. Like, he was moving around and I looked over at him, like, what are you doing? He's like, staring at me like, what? What, I caught you doing something? Would you being naughty? Don't you poop on me. No, you don't wanna? Okay, whatever, I was gonna pet you. You want petsies? Good boy. Even though I haven't been here as long as the captains, I knew Sanan was so well liked by the other warriors before his injury. Hey, Hijikata, can't you come up with some bullshit excuse to kick Ito out? Ever since they arrived, it's been nothing but bad vibes and sour moods. You know damn well I can't do that. I mean, look at the way Kondo fawns over Ito. Besides, he brought a large force of men behind him when he joined. You think they won't make a stink if he were to just disappear? Well, damn. Aren't you supposed to be the demon? The commander from hell? You're supposed to make the impossible happen. Fine, Soji. How about we make you commander? And you can kick Ito and his guys out, right? Ah, hell no. That's way too much trouble. No, that's work. The consensus was that Ito was not to be trusted, and it seems no one spoke in his defense. Only one during all of this quietly sipped his tea. Of course. What do you think? I've got a lot of opinions, but I don't talk. Saito doesn't fucking speak. He's like a robot. Saito quietly looked up at me as I poured more tea into his cup. So, what do you think about Ito? I mean, about Ito joining, that is. As an organization grows, it will expand to include people who have differing ideas and points of view. So then, however, if one attempts to force this sort of diversity, then the organization will begin to rot from within. His words hung in the air, a dark omen for the future of the Shinsengumi. It was considerate of Ito to join, but his presence seemed to be a recipe for dissension, if not outright disaster. The setting sun glowed through the windows with a warm, rich maroon, an ominous kind of beauty. It's cold. I came out into the yard and my body stopped due to the cold. Guess spring'll take a while. It's fucking February, yeah. I wasn't too fond of Ito, but it was Sanan and his condition that truly worried me. I really wish his arm would just heal. That arm, or perhaps more accurately the lack of it, was a source of his change in personality. Still, as nice as it would be for Sanan's arm to simply start working again, that seemed like the stuff of a child's fable, not real life. That was when I remembered. If push comes to shove, he'll have to take it. I don't think Sanan's just gonna give up. Don't jinx him, Soji. It's gonna look bad if officers start joining the Furies. Okita was talking about the Shinsengumi having some secret serum back in the day. Judging from how they spoke of it, it's an item with circumstances. But... And I was not to know about the existence of that serum. If I were to look into it without approval, there was no doubt that I'd be punished. But I'm the daughter of a doctor. I'm pretty sure I had more knowledge on medicine than the men of the Shinsengumi did. I returned to my room. We're not trying to woo anyone. We gotta behave. Perhaps it would be best to just return to my room. I didn't want to get in trouble for wandering around, but most of all, I didn't want to find myself in anyone's way. Even though I was worried about Sanan, maybe it's for the best for me to stay out of the way. Just as the sun dipped below the horizon, the compound exploded with activity. My worry increased tenfold. Did something happen? I waited for a few moments for the activity to settle down, but it did no such thing. Something was wrong. I could feel it. I struggled against it for as long as I could, but eventually my curiosity got the better of me. There must be someone in the common room. I decided to ask someone what had happened. Oh, Sanan took the stuff. To think that Sanan would have done this to himself. God damn it. The hell were you guys doing? Told you countless times to watch out for Sanan. Was some part of it difficult to understand? Come on, man. Who'd have thought he'd drink that stuff? I mean, Sanan was in charge of watching that stuff anyway, so it's not like we would have known. If it were hidden in a small bottle, we would have no way of knowing it was on him. I mean, I suppose there's a chance that treatment would heal his arm, but... It didn't work, did it? Everybody who took it went crazy. And then Sana would be... I wondered what they meant by treatment. Occasionally, I'd hear the captains referring to something similar from time to time. So, did Sana drink that thing? I believe Colonel Sana was working on improving it. He hoped to repair his arm before it had deteriorated too far. Perhaps he felt he was finished, or at least close enough. Whatever the case, when he realized his failure, he ignored Soji's counsel and attempted suicide. Suicide? The words were past my lips before I'd even thought them. As one, all eyes in the room turned toward me.
Just what the hell are you doing here?
You were all being really fucking loud, and I'm curious cat. The longer his cold gaze kept me pinned, the tighter my throat became, until I could barely breathe, let alone speak. I felt a strange combination of anxiety, suspicion, and animosity that I'd felt before on the night I arrived at the headquarters of the Shinsengumi. Now, as then, I knew the meaning of that gaze.
Toshi, I think it's time you told her what's going on. She's Koto's daughter, after all. She has a right to know.
I felt my eyes go wide at the mention of my father's name. Why would my father's name come up here? Don't tell me he had something to do with this. Hijikata's gaze slid to Kondo, sporting an unpleasant grimace. After a moment, however, he gave a long, exasperated sigh and turned back to me.
I'm gonna make this clear. The Shinsengumi doesn't need you. There's a chance you'll help us find Koto, but even without your help, we'll find him eventually. A minor setback at worst. You do anything weird, we'll kill you.
I've been here like a year. Could you stop being such a fucking prick? God, why do you love me so fucking much? That's why he's like, I'll fucking kill. He's like, Okita, I'll fucking kill you. And you're like, yeah, you try. You know you won't. You love me. Anyway.
I'm about to tell you what's going on here, but keep in mind that your life is in our hands.
The intensity of Hijikata's statement felt like a sharp dagger pointed at my throat. I'm the daughter. The Shinsengumi only let me stay with them in the slight chance I'd come in handy when the time arose to search for my father. Although it wasn't their primary duty, the Shinsengumi had the watch for all manhunts. There's nothing left to tie me here, apart from my memories of the last year. Are you going to kill me? My words were flushed with worry, and Hijikata thinned his eyes like he was speaking to a servant.
We aren't gonna kill you yet, but don't think that means you're in the clear.
Oh. I was glad, I suppose, that I wasn't going to be killed, but I was still far from happy. I've been with the Shinsengumi for nearly a year, and my position with them hadn't changed. The truth cut deep.
I ain't never told you. Makoto was here because he was developing a treatment.
You mean... I gulped audibly and I carefully formulated what I was going to say in my head before I said it aloud. The one that Sanin took? When Kondo nodded, it was as if there was a great weight resting on him.
It was first brought to us by one of the Shogun's men. We were told this concoction was obtained from a trade with Western merchants.
Curiosity swelled inside of me, and my head felt light from the anticipation. Still, I knew that digging deep is dangerous. These thoughts swirled. It was a foreign drug, built with the ability to augment a man's healing and physical strength. Any who drank it would supposedly be strong enough to conquer a wild beast. Barring a truly fatal wound, any injuries from battle would heal almost immediately. Unless one were to be decapitated, or be pierced in the heart, you can engage in combat forever. Does such a concoction really exist? Yes. Felt like I was hearing some sort of fairy tale. Of course, all of this comes with a price. A price? The drink spurs men into madness, and they're unable to survive without drinking the blood of others. Koto took it upon himself to experiment on the Shinsengumi in an attempt to improve the drug. My father... Somewhere deep in my heart, I knew my father had some connection with all of this. Knowing my father was involved with driving men mad, all I could do was wonder why. To perform experiments on the Shinsengumi. So that night, in the alley, Saito nodded plainly. We keep the guys who've taken in the Nanbu house. If we kept them at Yagi house, suspicions would have been aroused. So long as they don't get any blood, they stay pretty calm. Saito spoke quietly and indifferently. It was as if what he talked about was a distant memory. Living with them for so long made me forget. There's still a line between myself and the Shinsengumi men that couldn't be crossed, and his coldness reminded me of this notion. You alright, Spacey? You don't look too well.
I'm alright. Don't push yourself. I mean, of course you'd be sick after hearing this. Alright, I've told her enough. We need to think about Sonnen.
Well, yeah, but I mean, look at him. He's practically dead.
Well, this batch is new, so the effects could be different. It's not a sure thing yet that he'll go mad. Well, the crab actually does what it's supposed to, and that cut isn't gonna kill him. Hijikata felt like he was restrained in saying this, as if he was trying to keep his hopes low. Kondo, can you keep an eye on him? Tonight's gonna tell if he lives or dies, or goes crazy.
Very well. Soji's with him, right?
Kondo nodded deeply, then stood and walked towards the room. Don't let anyone near Sonnen's room, especially Ito's men. Yeah, I know. It's kind of, I mean, I kind of understand. So, like, yeah, so obviously they don't want anyone to know what happened, right? But they could also just tell them that, like, oh, Sonnen was stressed and tried to off himself. Like, oh, okay. Because all the shit you said, Ito, right? But they tell everyone, obviously, oh, he's dead. He's dead, officially. But why do they tell him that he's dead? You know what I mean? Like, I guess it's because otherwise then he's magically able to use his arm again, and they'd be like, I've been working on it. Like, he could just slowly pretend he's gaining the use of his arm back, you know, but whatever. I mean, I guess it's too suspicious to be like, I just magically am getting the use of my arm back and I have to sleep during the day. I'm a vampire. Like, I don't know. So anyway, Shinpachi, go check on the Mikawa house.
Got it.
As he passed, Nagakura's eyes met mine for an instant, and his gaze, in them I saw the same hostility felt on the night I'd first arrived, and they were filled with doubt and suspicion towards me. Really? Really? We've been with you for a year. You shouldn't be suspicious of me, goddammit. Saito, I want you in the inner courtyard. If Ito and his guys show up, keep them occupied. Understood. Eventually, Hijikata faced his gaze to me. Yukamura, I want you to stay with one of the captains. Okay. It seemed as though his suggestion wasn't out of worry for my well-being, but rather that it wasn't a wise idea for me to be wandering around. Stay out of the Nanbu house. They get kind of rowdy at night. All right. I bowed slightly, but even with their warnings, I would be limited. Why can't I just go back to my room? I mean, it's because you're talking to them, but remain in the common room. Woo! This is the first time we're gonna do this, guys. Oh my god. Oh, you know what though? Yeah, we'll just keep going. It'll be a little longer. Where should I go? Remain in the common room with Hijikata. Saito, Harada, and Nagakura had respectively left for the locations at the bequest of Hijikata's command, which meant I was alone with Hijikata. Maybe it was because Hijikata remained silent, but the mood in the common room felt suffocating. Of course, I bore him no ill will, but we were left to contemplate a somber silence together. My eyes slowly drifted to Hijikata, and his brows furrowed into deep indents above drooping eyes. One could see that his heavy concern for Sanem was draining him, and it was only after he closed his eyes to breathe that he quietly spoke. You may think you know Sonnen, but this commotion has distorted him greatly. Sonnen's not only intelligent, but he possesses a strong hand for the blade. His mind sees the whole picture, not just what stands before him. He knew how to offer perspective in moments where my temper would get the better of me, and he could control me with just his words. Without him, the Shinsengumi would be nothing. We would cease to exist. To me, he was like my big brother. I still think you're one of the older ones, so it's just weird, but Hijikata's sincerity dripped from his curt words, and he balled his hands in tight fists. Sonnen must have a very special place in your heart. Well, suddenly sounds so cheap when put into words. Here he sat, captured by thoughts of a life without his old friend. The truth could be devastating, even for Hijikata. His position, however, prevented him from revealing this to others, and by sharing these memories with me, he and the truth could wait. The only reason we didn't dispose of that shit was because I thought he could heal his arm with it. We knew this could happen. We need Sonnen. We can't lose him. He scrunched his face heavily, and his usual coldness was dissolving, replaced by an anguish as he considered the morality of his dear friend.
He's completely spent. We say it'll be, I know we're never going to come back and do the let's have faith because this is what the right thing to say. So it'll be okay. Do you have anything to back that up? Yes, I do. Back in Edo, I saw my father treat many patients. I'm going to base my judgment on that. Sana will pull through. There's a saying that illnesses come from the heart, so it's important to have a strong heart. If everyone believes from the bottom of their hearts that Sana will recover, then oh, I'm gonna will myself healthy. That's not how it works, honey, but anyway. Sure, I mean, but it's gonna make Hichikata feel better, so that's all that matters. Hichikata's eyes thinned a little. He's like, you're fucking insane. I know. He's like, oh, you're cute. You're saying stupid shit to make me feel better. Thanks. Why is the commander of the Shinsengumi being cheered up by some young girl? The fire in his eyes returned. Still, you're right. Sana drank the medicine with the hopes of fixing his arm. We just have to believe that he'll recover. Aww. Okay, perfect timing. So I'm gonna wrap this part up here. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.